Palia, the game I've been absolutely hooked on for this past week. What is it about? Well, let me tell you. I personally really love open world games. The freedom they give you, the stories you unfold, trying your best to survive in an unfamiliar landscape. It's like entering a brand new world and being able to do anything you want. Well, almost anything. Where does Palia sit on this scale? Well, Palia is a cozy open world MMO game that is set in the fantasy world where humans are a rare species that have descended upon Kalima Village, however you want to say it. Upon being reborn, we are greeted by a scientist named Gina. Gina is the key to discovering what happened to the humans and their history, but first you must acquaint yourself with the friendly Majari in the village, which are like elf-like people who live in the magical world of Palia. Being a new citizen in the village, you must forge your own path, help the villagers with quests, get to know them, and you can even romance them. But you must first prove yourself. In Palia, you get started off with your own housing plot, which you can expand over time, build houses, and decorate to your heart's content. Furniture crafting is actually a skill in the game you'll need to improve to unlock things like the loom to be able to make gliders in the future. Yes, that's right, gliders! And yes, they are pretty awesome! There are many other skills in the game you'll also need to improve to unlock progressions such as fishing, mining, gathering, cooking, hunting, gardening, and even insect catching. All of these activities are pretty vast. Like with the fishing, you can get lots of different types of fish depending on the bait you use, and some of those special fish can be used in an altar, much like Stardew Valley where you have the town hall and you donate items to complete rooms. Palia has something similar to that, so you donate your items there and you can get something out of it. They also have a similar system a lot of survival crafters use out there of improving your tools. So in Palia, you start off with a basic set of tools, and then you can upgrade them to improve, then copper, then iron, and then pallium. You get the gist. Now earlier I was mentioning that this is an MMO game, and you might be wondering how that comes into play. In this game you can invite friends, create parties, and make communities that are like having a clan. You have instance-based servers which cap out at 25 players, so when you travel to new areas, you'll be in different servers without having to choose servers, if you catch my drift. Some activities in Palia require you to have multiple people, such as when you get Pallium tier, you will need help to cut down flow trees. Flowwood is used to craft Pallium tools, and that is an essential part of crafting Pallium tools and some things up on that tier. That, and you might want to consider doing some multiplayer things such as cooking, as it is way more beneficial in a group than solo, and resource gathering can also be shared across to other players. So if I was to pick up some rare spices, my teammate could also pick up the very same rare spices. But if we were to farm all together, then we would only have to smack the ore node once each, and we'd be able to get the same resources out of the same rock together. Now, multiplayer activities like this can have its ups and downs. So far, because it's quite busy on the servers, as it's quite a brand new game in beta, finding people to help you chop down some flow trees isn't a problem at all. But I can see this being a problem when the population calms down a bit. There aren't too many activities that require people, but you get the idea. If you can't find people, then you cannot progress. It'll be interesting to see how they handle this later on in the game's lifetime. Palia is also one of those that could do with a little extra substance between questing for the NPCs. There's been a few times which I've been unsure on what to do, but you pretty much just need to keep chatting up all the NPCs to get more quests. One thing I'd definitely like to see with the NPCs is having an actual voice-acted dialogue. It can be really hard at times to read out the amount of dialogue they have, especially when you're talking to the entire village, so a lot of the time you can just skip through it and whatever else because it's just so much to read. But it's also having lots of interesting stories in there, so you're kind of missing out. So having some voice-acted dialogue would be really nice. What will Palia cost to get? Absolutely nothing. Palia is a free game, and if you're interested, I'll leave a link in the description. However, I will fully give you a heads up, it does have an in-game cash shop for cosmetics. Currently it is just outfits for sale, but it's very clear that they've put a lot of work into their cash shop, and they definitely have hired someone for strategizing on it. Their cash shop is also very expensive. I've seen single outfits in there costing up to $20, which is like a price for a full game itself. It also only takes credit card, unfortunately, right now. So even if you did want to spend money in there, your options are very limited. So if you don't want to pay with your credit card credentials, well, you're out of luck because there is no other way to pay. You cannot use PayPal, you cannot use other things like that. You can only use your credit card information, which I really don't like putting into games, so I will not be spending any money just for that fact right there. But this could be changed in the future. It might just be something for beta right now, as is a closed beta, and they are slowly letting people through with codes, and then this will transition into an open beta where more people will be able to join. And I imagine in the full release of the game, you'll probably see something a little different, or, well, I hope so, because that's kind of like stabbing themselves in the foot like that. I will tell you though, I have put in near 40 plus hours into the game, and I have not spent a single dime on it. So I've been able to play and enjoy the game without feeling pressurized to spend money, and I hope it stays that way, as that can really ruin a game for me a lot of the time. One thing I do suspect going forward though is that they do have a few time-gated things, such as when I built my first house, it took 8 hours to craft, which is fine because I can go and do other things or leave it overnight, but I can imagine them being tempted to put speed-up timers on things like this for the cost of currency, which would be a huge turn-off for a lot of players, including myself. All this being said, Palia so far has been really enjoyable of a game to play. Me and my friends have been absolutely hooked on it, and I foresee it having a very bright future if they keep it up and keep the content flowing for the players. It is very satisfying of a game to play, and it is a great game to chill out on and get absorbed with the world and all of its stories. So let me know what you think about the game in the comments down below, and if it is something you'd be interested in trying yourself. I 100% recommend it, especially right now, if you can get into the open or closed betas. 100% have it a try now. I imagine you have an absolutely great time right now, and then later on we'll see what they do with it, and hopefully it will go up from there. I'm really hopeful on this game. It has been so much fun, and yeah, well, let me know down below. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel for me. And well, thank you for watching. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!